Something is wrong in this country when a child can grab a gun so easily and shoot a bullet into the middle of a child's face, as my son experienced. Something is wrong. But the time has come to understand that a Tech-9 semi-automatic 30-bullet weapon like that killed my son is not used to kill deer. It has no useful purpose. It is time to address this problem.
He wants to get married.
I'll marry him if he's serious.
Ever since the Industrial Revolution started in England in 1820, technology and machinery have made an overwhelming impact on society, one of these mainly being weapons. In most countries, everywhere you turn, a gun is not too far, and we can all be thankful to those behind the trigger, like Samuel L. Colt, the creator of the first revolver in 1835, following on after Alicia Collier, who created the first flintlock firearm in 1814. After that, a large range of weapons evolved, from the pistol to the handgun, the musket to the rifle, and the spear to the javelin. And after that, it all changed. No country after that was unaffected, and one in particular was affected the most.
The town of Virgin, Utah has passed a law requiring all residents to own guns.
Williams proudly displays the target he used to pass his shooting test. But the thing is, he can't see it. He's blind. Kerry has had a love affair with guns since he first got his hands on an M16 as a teenager.
I'm actually most comfortable with assault rifles.
America was the country that had the worst effect, with 11,000 gun murders every year on average, in some of the most notorious events from the 1900s to now, with events like the Columbine shootings, Sandy Hook, 9/11, and the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, all taking their place in history and the Wall of Shame. But they aren't the only ones, not the only countries at least. Let's not forget other countries with events like the 7/7 bombings, Spencer Perceval, and the first British Prime Minister to be assassinated, the Bali bombings, and the Nazi massacre. In fact, the Nazis had actually a lot to do with the industrialization of weaponry, with their innovations like one of the world's first helicopters, the Flettner FL-282 Colibri, or the revolutionary night vision and rifle, the Zielgerata 1229. Sorry, can only say it like that. But with all of these violent pasts and gruesome histories, then why is it only America that has so many gun murders every year? Why do we think it's okay to give weapons that specialize in murder to children, when we know very well that children have murdered with guns before? People have become attached to guns and can't seem to get enough of it, with violent video games, movies, and television shows that all seem to conclude the fact that we are all numb to the imagery of violence. Children can turn on the television and watch an R-rated film without being fazed. We all can. School kids can crack open a textbook and draw guns all day after a session of Call of Duty. In fact, even adults would. Is it true that we as a society have found comfort in what we designed to kill us in the first place? How can we begin to fathom the idea that we just leave loaded weaponry lying around in our houses? So it seems that every country is subjected to some form of gun violence, some for longer and more than others. Like Australia, we only truly understood what guns and warfare could have as an impact on society in 1915. When young Australian and Aboriginal men were sent off to Gallipoli to fight another person's war. But to this day, we do understand what guns can do to people, but yet we still handle them recklessly. Like in 2001, in the United States, in state Flint, Michigan, where a 6-year-old was able to grab a .32 caliber revolver from his uncle's home and was able to shoot another 6-year-old in his kindergarten class in State Beulah High School. Or, last year, where a 9-year-old girl accidentally shot her shooting instructor with an Uzi, and her excuse was that it was too much for her to handle. All of that was shot on film, and it's on the BBC News. You can go check that out on the website. But her excuse wasn't as bad as the National Rifle Association's, when they tried to muster up a plan to stop gun violence after the Sandy Hook shootings.
The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Roll the credits, play the links and references. I'll see you guys later.